Hello, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. In this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a rant about the mask and something bad that happened to me at a Roadrunner Freight terminal. And so in this video, I know my general rule is to stay away from political stuff and from religious stuff unless somebody specifically asks me about those things. But in this video, it's going to be necessary for me to discuss those things. So let's not waste a lot of time. Let's jump right into this video. And y'all tell me what you think down in the comments or email me. I'd love to hear your opinions as well. Now, I'm going to warn you in this video too. Some of you are going to think I'm crazy by the end of this video, and that's okay too. All right, let's not waste any more time. Here we go. Before we jump in, let's make sure that if you have not done it yet, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel out. Also subscribe, wait a few seconds, a bell will pop up, click that bell and then select all, and that way you'll be notified when future videos come out. I've got another rant video I've got to do in the next couple of days. It's pertaining to the TA truck stops, and really truck stops in general, how they've changed over the years. And it also pertains to one of Roadrunner Freight's policies that really bugs me. So if you're subscribed, you'll get those notifications, and you'll be able to see those videos when they come out. Also, share this video, I forget to say this a lot of times, on your social media platforms so that other people that might not already know about this channel can see what we're doing here. All right, so I'm sure you're all aware by now that pretty much everywhere the mask law has gone into effect. You're required to wear one of these little masks, which absolutely does nothing for you and is actually bad for your health. The CDC has since come out, and there's been new studies that said that they're not really sure if the masks protect you at all or not. As a matter of fact, the logic behind it is crazy. We're told that this little thin piece of cloth will keep us from getting coronavirus. Well, if that's true, why do we need to social distance? And we're told if we're socially distancing ourselves, that'll keep us from getting the virus. Well, if that's true, why do we need this mask? And what's funny is there's a country, I can't think of it right off the top of my head, that did almost no protocols for the coronavirus, and they've got the least number of cases. And one of the Dakotas, I believe it's South Dakota, also didn't do hardly any of the protocols, and they've got the least number of cases here in the United States. So I don't know I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not going to say what's behind this. I know there are some people that's benefited greatly from this. The Democratic Party, for one. Amazon's made a fortune off of the coronavirus, which is fine. They're a business. That's what they're there to do, is make money. But they are a huge, one of the hugest contributors to the Democratic Party. And so I don't know if they're pushing this for profits. I know truck stops are. They're trying to require masks, and if you don't wear one, they'd be happy to sell you one for $15 or $18. A mask that would normally be $2 or $3, they're price gouging for 5 times the normal amount. And so there's definitely a money motivator here. I ain't gonna lie, I've made money off the coronavirus. We've had a crazy amount of freight here at Roadrunner Freight, hauling, medical supplies, rubber gloves, hand sanitizer, those type of things. So I've also benefited from the coronavirus, even as a lot of people have suffered through it. But I think that they currently are trying to reinstitute the stay-at-home order so that they can do mail-in ballots, which leads to more fraud. And that's my personal belief. I also believe that some of this is politically related because we're in an election year, and that a lot of this will die down in November after the election, regardless of which party wins. If Biden wins, they'll say, oh, he was a great leader, he ended coronavirus. And if Trump wins, they'll just move on to the next scandal. He played poker with Putin or something like that. Whatever it is, he was in some kind of scandal. There's people that care more about their political careers than they do the country or what's best for the country, and that's on both sides of the aisle. I'm not dogging any party here. Here's what I am gonna say. Well, I'll get to my announcement here in just a second. Let me tell you what happened at Roadrunner Freight. So I showed up in Atlanta well, it's actually Decatur, to pick up my load, and an older gentleman walks up to me. I'm guessing he's some kind of dock supervisor or something. He's not upper management. He's not wearing a mask. And he says, driver, from now on when you come in here, you need to have a mask on. I looked around. Not one single person in the office was wearing a mask, including him. I said, nobody else is in here wearing a mask. He said, yeah, but because you're a driver, we're requiring all the drivers to wear a mask. So, let's talk about that a second. Since I have this little thing here, CDL, I'm required to do things in the warehouse for the company that I'm leased to that the own employees there don't have to do, just because of my occupation. That is discrimination. Discrimination's not only a race thing. It's where I'm treated differently because I'm different in some way. Race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, those kind of things. I'm treated differently because of what I do for a living. So I told him, I said, well, none of these other people are wearing a mask, so I'm not going to wear one either. And he kind of huffed and puffed and walked off mad. But this is discrimination, folks. I'm being treated differently. Now, I know what some of you are going to say. Oh, we're treated differently all the time. We have to keep a logbook. We have to do a drug test. Things like that. That's different. That's work-related. People that have no medical background are telling me what I should do medically for my health. And I've got the same problem with seat belts and with helmets on motorcycles. Now, I wear a seat belt always, mainly because I don't want a ticket. And I wear a helmet when I'm on a motorcycle because it's a good idea. But I believe that should be your choice. Look, every one of us knows that we're safer with a seatbelt 99% of the time. There are a few accidents where you're safer without a seatbelt. And every one of us knows it's a good idea to wear a helmet on a motorcycle. You're safer if you're in a crash. But it should be your choice. It shouldn't be the government telling you you should have to be safe. If you want to risk your safety, risk your safety. I'll give you another example. Cigarettes. And I don't smoke, never have, never will. It's not my thing. The government, you know, if cigarettes are as dangerous as they say they are, ban them. Why would you let the public take something that's that deadly and that dangerous? Well, I'll tell you why. It's tax revenue. But they've tried everything to get people to quit smoking. They even put a big warning on the side of the packs. People don't care. There's some things that people are willing to risk their safety for. And I'm saying all that to say this. I'm not wearing a mask right now, and I'm not doing it for a couple of reasons. One of them is medical exemption. If you have a medical reason why you can't wear the mask, you don't have to wear it. The exception to that is if you're on an Indian reservation. Now, I'm not going to tell you my specific medical situation, but I am going to tell you some things I want you to consider. I would encourage you guys to do some Googling and see if you also qualify for the medical exemption. But if you've got any kind of breathing issues, asthma, If you're allergic to the mask material, if you have trouble breathing with the mask material on, some people will tell you, oh, you got to have a written doctor's note. No, you actually don't. If you declare it, they're not supposed to ask you, and you're not supposed to have to reveal your reason under the HIPAA law. You have a right to privacy. This is still America, no matter how many Marxist and socialist and communist we have living in this country. It's still America. You still have a right to privacy. And another thing, and nobody denies this, look it up. When you have this mask on, right here, like this, when you exhale, carbon dioxide comes out. When you inhale, that same carbon dioxide goes back in. That's why if you wear one of these for a little while, you'll get a headache. It's not good for your brain cells to be inhaling this carbon dioxide. And if you don't believe me, get out in the heat and walk with it on for about 10 or 15 minutes and see how you feel. You'll even catch yourself when you're wearing it breathing with your mouth open, because you're not getting your normal amounts of oxygen. And all for something that even the CDC says this may not protect you. Now, finally, I want to move to religious reasons. And this is where a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy, and that's okay. If you've ever read the book of Revelations, it talks about the mark of the beast. Now, since I was a little kid, I was taught that the mark of the beast would be some type of marking on your forehead, some type of tattoo. What if the mark is really that mask? Think about it for a second. The book of Revelation, and the book of Revelation was written to tell you signs of the end times. You won't be able to commerce. How many stores have signs up, we're not going to sell you nothing if you don't wear a mask? Things like that. It's all in Revelations. If you replace the word mark in Revelation with the word mask, it fits to a T. Also, let me give you some more examples from Revelation. It says that, and there's some debate if the tribulation, when it happens, the chronological order of things, but it talks about 3.5 years of good and 3.5 years of bad. All right. Think back to the start of the Trump presidency. Almost to the day, 3.5 years of record growth in our economy. The 3.5 years of good it talks about. Now, I'm hoping, just like you are, that we're not in the middle of 3.5 years of bad. I personally believe that a lot of it will pass in November, regardless of which party wins office. This is just a political stunt. But these are signs. It talks about hearing of foreign wars and foreign sicknesses and stuff, and we're hearing of those things. And it says to let your heart not be troubled, to not be worried all the time. And that's what I'm doing. So I also want to talk about this cashless society thing, which it also talks about in Revelation. There is no coin shortage. Anybody that understands how currency works realizes there can't be a coin shortage. The money is circulated. It goes to the Federal Reserve, it's cleaned, and it's redispersed. Some of it's discarded and new money's put out. There is no coin shortage. This is being done for two different reasons. For one, it's being done to where they don't have to handle your cash, where you pay with a debit card and there's no touching. The problem with that is they're still touching your merchandise. You order a Coke, like I've got right here, and there's a barcode on it. The cashier picks up your soft drink and scans that barcode. That's how they charge you. If they've got the virus, unless they're wearing rubber gloves and you pick it up and you're not wearing rubber gloves, you've got it too. The virus can live on a surface for 3 days. Also, what about when they stock the cooler? Are they wearing rubber gloves then either? So, this is just crazy. This, I didn't even tell you that part about the Roadrunner deal. When he first told me about the mask and I saw he wasn't wearing one, I started laughing. I said, yeah, right. I thought he was joking. This guy was dead serious. And so, hey, I realized that by choosing not to wear a mask, there's going to be some consequences. There may be some warehouses I can't pick up a load. Roadrunner may not like this video. That's okay too. Everybody's going to have to do what they think is right, but I'm not going to be discriminated against because of what I do for a living. And if I have medical concerns to why I don't want to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. And if I have religious concerns about not wearing a mask, I'm not going to do it. The book of Revelation tells you specifically to not accept the mark. And so from this day forward, I'm not going to accept the mark. Now, on the 20th of this month, my wife and I both have doctor's appointments. Is it possible that I will wear a mask in the hospital to meet their requirements? Yes. What's the difference? Well, if I have a medical episode, I'm in a hospital. I'm not in a truck stop. And so I may or may not. I'm going to do some thinking about it between now and then. I'm going to do some reading about it between now and then. And I'm going to do some praying about it between now and then. But that's just my 2 cents worth on this. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I've got to start driving. I'm on my way to Livermore, California right now. I'm going to be out there probably sometime Sunday. And so y'all have a great day and stay tuned. There's another one coming in a couple of days. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.